Welcome back for another video. The year was 1987 and this story takes place in Torquay in the southwest of England. One of football's more unusual stories. The two stars of the story is right back Jim McNichol and a German shepherd called Bryn. It was the last day of the 86-87 season and Torquay United were facing a very real possibility of being relegated with one game to play. An underwhelming season saw them rooted to the bottom of the 4th Division, now known as League 2. A rollercoaster season with a single point earned in the opening 5 games and a run of 6 losses on the bounce mid-season. And yet a late revival of form at the very end of the season had created a glimmer of hope in staying up. The stakes were highest at this point, until changes made the following year. Whichever team finished bottom of League 2 ran the risk of being re-elected, a system which had provided many clubs a vital lifeline down the years. At the time, only the club rock bottom ran the risk. As it happened, it was a police dog who stepped in to provide the lifeline. Heading into the final game, Torquay still stood a small chance of survival if other results in the league went in their favour as well. They were home to Crewe Alexander, and by half time they were 2-0 down. Things were looking bleak. In the second half, right back Jim McNichol fired a free kick in to pull one back. As it stood, they were still down and out though. In the second half, one of the most bizarre turn of events, McNichol running to collect the ball for an urgent throw-in, only for Bryn, the police dog, pitched side to mistake him for a pitch invader. Bryn broke free from his leash and he sank his teeth deep into the defender's thigh, leaving him down in agony, which would require 17 stitches. To make matters worse, up until the 87-88 season the following year, teams were only allowed to make one substitution, and Torquay had already made theirs. There's no protocol for such a bizarre event, so McNichol played on, later saying, "We'd already used up our one substitute and I wasn't going to go off, but it wasn't much use by that stage either." However, the very long stoppage had been a blessing in disguise. The Torquay players had been made aware of the other results in the league, and it was abundantly clear exactly what they needed to do to avoid the drop. They needed an equaliser. One goal was enough. Play resumed, and in the very dying seconds of the game, Paul Dobson pounced on a defensive mistake and drilled a shot home. They had done it, and Lincoln City were relegated instead. One of the most dramatic conclusions to a football match, hopefully by which point Bryn was out of sight as thousands of Torquay fans swarmed the pitch to celebrate. Torquay chairman Lou Pope was seen in tears, overcome with emotion in his post-match interview. He reflected on how he'd never seen anything like it in his 55 years attending games. McNichol later said, "I don't remember much, I was hobbling around. I didn't see any of the celebrations. I was off getting all sorts of injections and I had all of the tetanus checks and tests. Then I went home and went to bed. By the time I saw anybody, the party was finished." Nothing more came of the biting incident. The police said in their statement that although it was an unfortunate event, Bryn simply thought he was doing his job. However, the story doesn't quite end there. To mark 30 years since the incident, Torquay United teamed up with McNichol one more time, with a local drink supplier Toll Shards, to enlist the brewers in creating their own signature brew, named in Bryn's honour. McNichol was seen on a TV advert for the ale, enjoying a pint, and finally getting the chance to celebrate after missing out all those years ago. And that's the story of Bryn, the German shepherd who saved the football club from relegation. If you enjoyed it, please consider subscribing for more football content, and hit like if you enjoyed it.